Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome, everyone. Great to have you here today. Can't wait to dive into this week's Friday review. Everything that's been happening over the past week, including these two books for review. Anybody that's looking to improve their memorization-based ability, and also for numbers, I'll share these two books with you and why I'm reading them right now. I'll go over two of my favorite teas that I'm drinking all of the time. Not all the time, but a good amount of the time during this winter-based season. I'll share with you that and one of my favorite tea-based brands. Plus, I'll be bringing you two research studies that I think that you should know about. One on chocolate for breakfast. Believe it or not, I'll share with you a little bit of research there. And also before that, why some foods may actually be better frozen rather than actually purchase them fresh. So I'll be sharing that all today. But before we get to those, we're always going to go through our recap of the week. First things first, updates on where we've been over this past week. Well, this past week, for me being this is December 17th, I believe, right? So it's always a busy time of the year. It's kind of, I've talked about this on a couple weeks ago on my Mindset and Motivation Monday. I've really given up on the idea that I'm going to slow down during the holidays. I've believed that before in the past. And now I just say, you know what? You haven't been able to do it for the last 5 years. What makes you think that this year is going to be different? And is that really what you want? And what I've come up with is, no, that's not actually what I'm looking for, which is why I'm not actually slowing down during the holidays. What I'm doing is actually just kind of moving full speed ahead with more family time, more extended family time, hopefully seeing friends that I haven't connected with in a while, and also moving forward with different new exciting things that I have going on with the work that I love to do, which of course is in integrative health. So I won't be slowing down. Of course, I'll be taking off Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the weekends, of course. But what I'd like to share with you, though, is that your life is really what you decide to make of it. So, if someone says, you know what, you should really take off a week or so during the holidays, and I might say, yeah, that might be the right decision for you. And I have the option to take it off if I choose to. And yes, I'm going to be spending much more time with my family, but at the same time, I'm living the life that I want to live. And so, I'm excited about that. I'm of course excited that next week is Christmas. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year, the whole week. So I definitely spend way more time with my family leading up to it. I like to do little events. I like to bring my two daughters out with my wife, of course, at night to look at Christmas lights. I like to do everything that the season has for us, and really talk about the season overall and the spending extra time with family, all those nice things. And then of course we're going to take off basically 3 or 4 days in a row, which will be really nice, and that will be us, our family, seeing my parents, my brothers, my sister, and then also extended family as well. So it's a really nice time of the year. I really do enjoy it. And one thing I'll say is that it never gets old for me. It's just, it's being able to see kind of that magic in my daughter's eyes this time of the year and all the fun that comes around with it, even during these less than ideal circumstances in the world today. Again, I'm just a believer. I just have faith. Maybe I shouldn't, but I just believe that everything's going to move in the direction that it should, and that life is going to become a little bit happier in 2022. So that's one of my hopes as well. So that's what we have going on. And then I'm also mindset focused on what's coming for Equal Life for the new year. A lot of you already know that we're going to be debuting a brand new line of all science-based, longevity-based products. Super excited about that. What most people don't know is a surprise coming the second week of January. I believe it's the first or second week of January. Definitely stay tuned. If you're not on the Equal Life newsletter and SMS text list, you definitely should be, because this is something you're not going to want to miss, because it's one of those deals where a lot of times you say, hey, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not true. And I talk about that all the time. This is like one of those rare exceptions. So you're definitely going to want to be in the Equal Life based realm community. Of course, I'll be talking about it on Instagram. I'll talk about it in our private group, our private Facebook group, cabralsupportgroup.com. But don't miss that. All right. Don't miss that announcement, because literally it's a great opportunity, I think, for our greater health-based community. Okay. So besides that, on January 10th, that is going to be our next community functional medicine detox. So if you have never done a functional medicine detox, now is the time to jump into that 21-day. But if you've already done them and you've already done 21-day, maybe in the last couple of seasons, we're going to be doing a 7-day as well. So I'll be doing my 7-day detox January 10th, along with thousands of other people from around the world. I would love to make it 10,000 for this January community detox. We have gyms around the United States doing it, and actually some in Australia. We have personal training studios. We have now smoothie bars carrying the daily nutritional support and other products. So it's going to be a big one. And if you do nothing else, if you do nothing else for the whole year, start with that 21-day. And if you've already been doing the functional medicine detox, complete a 7-day functional medicine detox along with us. Don't know what it is? Well, check out details at stevencabral.com/detox. Literally guaranteed results. When is the last time anybody guaranteed anything? It's guaranteed results. Don't like your results? Hey, we're happy to refund your money. It really is. But remember, this is a kickstart. You're going to be able to improve your overall health, your overall body transformation, your overall anti-aging. This is the place to start. January 10th, get yours right now, and ideally join with a group of friends, with family members. It's always way better to be able to support each other in that way. Don't have any friends, family members that are into this whole integrative health thing? All right, join the community. It's free. CabralSupportGroup.com. We'll be posting daily beginning January 10th, so stay tuned for that. All right. What's going on over at Equal Life? Well, Equal Life right now this week is if you get 3 functional medicine detoxes, the Equal Life detox, the Dr. Cabral detox, whatever you want to call it, you will get one free. So that's pretty fantastic, because that is $100 savings, a $99 savings. So one of your friends can't afford it, you buy 3, you give them 1, right? Or 4 people all go in together, and then you get it at a discount of $100. So you each save, what is that, $25, right? So that's a nice way to do it too. So however you want to do it, get started there. It ends this week. Again, January 10th is our community detox. Save $100 by going to stevencabral.com/shop and take advantage of that $100 savings. Use each one of those for every quarter: January, beginning of April, beginning of July, and mid-September. Those are our 4 seasonal detoxes. You can do yours any time of the year you want, but you can also just save $100 if you know that you're going to do 4 detoxes, which we all want to, over the course of 2022. All right, podcast recap for the week. Hopefully you joined us each day last week. We appreciate, of course, your support, your downloads, your subscribes to the podcast, and reviews. So 2138, episode 2138 was Why Most People Major in Minor Things. I love the title of that show. It is not mine. That is the great Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins. 2138. 2139 was Flip Your Fasting Upside Down for Better Results. I always like to share with you, I like to give you a lot of plans to choose from. But in the end, I say, hey, if you're open to any of them, this one works the best. And I shared with you the best way to do your intermittent fasting. That's at stevencabral.com/2139. 2140 was 3 reasons you stop losing weight. So the 3 biggest reasons that you're going to plateau. I share with you what they are and what to do about it. And then yesterday's show, 2141, was how to get better results, workout results, in less time. That is exactly what I'm doing with my workout program right now. My workout program went from about 45 to 50 minutes, okay, now down to 30 minutes. And I share with you exactly how I did it without really losing a lot of the actual volume. That means the number of exercises that I do and the number of sets. So check that out. It's just me sharing with you exactly what I'm doing. And if I can impart some of these tips, that is what I'm here to do. So thank you so much again for tuning in. Let's get into now our product review of the week. And that is going to be, and I've mentioned it before, but I want to share with you. A lot of people say, hey, you're still doing this, you're still doing that. The answer is sometimes, so always feel free to ask. But one brand that I've used now for way more than a decade, I don't know how long, 15 years, is this brand right here, Traditional Medicinals. If you're watching this on video, which is right over at YouTube at Stephen Cabral, or of course on the podcast page at stephencabral.com, you know that I am pointing to organic Tulsi tea with ginger. Now, I like straight ginger tea. There's no doubt about it. And another company makes straight ginger tea called Organic India. So you can do that. But you've heard me talk about the benefits of Tulsi. So one of the things with my makeup, we'll call it genotype, we'll call it dosha, we'll call it pitta-based mindset, whatever you want to call it, I need a little bit of that, the little bit of the breaks every once in a while. And what ginger tea does, along with Tulsi, is it's calming. It really is. It doesn't put you to sleep, but that Tulsi is a little bit, it's not a little bit, it's actually called an adaptogen. So it is great for the overall stress on the body. And that's why mixing a little bit of Tulsi with this ginger, you get the best of both worlds. So you get 1,500 milligrams of Tulsi in there for one tea bag. And you get 500 milligrams of ginger rhizome. And of course, this is organic. Traditional Medicinals, I am not affiliated with the company in any way, but they do good work. And I like to promote good people and good companies. The other one that I love is hibiscus, organic hibiscus. All right. So I started using this many years ago. And the reason why I started using it many years ago is because I got really sick to my stomach on a trip to Mexico many years ago. And I didn't want to miss out on all the fun. So I went on this, I think it's called a cenote. I apologize if my pronunciation's off. And it was just like this underground cave and swimming. It was amazing. And then afterwards, it was a small group of us. We actually ate in a small village. And I told the guide, I was like, listen, my stomach's killing me. I can't eat any food. And so they brought me a pitcher of this red liquid. And I said, what is this? And they said, it's good for your stomach. And I said, okay, but what is it? And they said, it's hibiscus tea from the hibiscus leaves. And I said, okay, I'll try it. And right away, it's one of those things where you take a glass of it, and instantly you know that this is exactly what your body needs. It's this strange reaction that we still can't quantify in medicine and in science. Your body is telling you, this is right. I ended up consuming the entire jug of hibiscus. And by the next day, I'm not saying that this is a cure for any type of bacterial infection, et cetera, that you may get. Here's what I can tell you, though. My stomach was dramatically improved by that night and the next day. And so since then, I've just kind of really enjoyed hibiscus. It's one of those things you think back on. You've got good memories of it. And so now I'll make myself a cup of this in the afternoon. I don't drink a lot of tea in the morning. It's just my body's not interested in drinking tea in the morning. But I'll drink some of this mid-afternoon or sip on it during the day. And a really nice thing, every once in a while, I don't do it often, but I'll take a tea bag. I'll make a couple tea bags and I'll make some ginger tea. Okay, it's already there. I'll keep it cold in the refrigerator. And then I'll just mix it with some room temperature sparkling water. And what I do is I've got basically sparkling hibiscus water and I'll squeeze a lime, pinch of sea salt. It tastes delicious. So if you're looking for a non-alcoholic drink, try hibiscus sparkling water, squeeze a lime, pinch of sea salt. Try it even during the holidays if you want to cut back on the alcohol consumption. Test it out. I really enjoy it, and hopefully you will as well. I'll link these up. I mean, you'll be able to find them at any good quality food store, and nutritional supplement store. But I'll link them up too at stephencabral.com/2142. That's where all today's links will be for today's show. All right, so let's do a little book review. I've got 2 books here. I don't even know how. I honestly have no idea who recommended these books. That's the strange thing. I get recommended so many books because people know that I enjoy reading. So like, hey, have you checked out this book? And I'm like, no, I haven't checked it out yet. I'll add it to my Amazon list. And so this one's called Moonwalking with Einstein, New York Times bestseller, and is The Art and Science of Remembering Everything. And it's by sorry, that's the Boston accent there. We add R's where there shouldn't be R's and take them away where there should be. It's Joshua Foer. So I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name. And so I've read this book, and I enjoyed this book. I've read a bunch of books on memory and learning before, and I do enjoy it. I wanted to read this. Someone recommended it to me. A lot of this information I'd kind of heard in bits and pieces before. Basically, let me. It is a good book. So if you want to improve your memory and you want a few different ways on how the best people in the world do it, this will teach you that. So it's called Moonwalking with Einstein. Cool book, not a long book. 300 pages, 250 pages. So not a difficult one to read. You'll read this in a couple weeks if you follow my 10-minute formula per day. Or 10-page formula per day. So I read this one. Again, I've read a bunch of ones. You have to understand, you can memorize basically anything with a few different tips and tricks. And the best way, I can just give you a synopsis, is that you want to tie whatever it is that you're trying to remember to an image. Okay. And if you need to remember multiple things, you tie those individual images together, almost like a story. So instead of trying to remember the numbers or the phrase or the whatever or the person's name, what you do is you conjure up that image when you see that thing. That image now refers to whatever it is you're looking to memorize. Again, for more details, you can read these books. I've kind of explained it before, but that's a lot of times what it goes back to. One new thing that I picked up in this is actually, if you have to memorize phrases or whole like paragraphs or whatever it is, you can actually turn consonants instead of vowels, consonants, into numbers. And those numbers could actually correspond to the different consonants. And from that, you can actually then remember all of the different words. This is more in depth than I'll ever need for my life. But let's say I was trying to develop this specific cryptic code or had to memorize something for some reason. They give you some good tips in that. All right. This next book I haven't read yet. It's called A Mind for Numbers. Why am I reading A Mind for Numbers? Okay, so it's called How to Excel at Math and Science, Even If You Flunked Algebra. I have no idea, again, how I got this book. It's by Barbara Oakley, PhD. And I honestly have no idea, but I'll tell you why I picked it up. So I picked it up because my oldest daughter is now 9, and she's starting to do not advanced math by any means, but she's getting up there in math. And so I do math in my own weird way. Whenever I try to share how I got to it with one of my daughters, with my oldest daughter, my wife looks at me and she's like, do not teach her that. It's like, that is the strangest, oddest way to get to the end number, and nobody should learn it that way. And since she was a former teacher, I take her advice. And she's also my wife, so I take her advice. But I want to learn more of what would be useful in me teaching my daughter, both daughters, but first my oldest, these tips and tricks that they can use in school, because I very much enjoy math. And then I also enjoy working with my daughters on their specific homework and kind of working together on that. I think it's a nice thing for us to do together. So anyway, we do that at nights. We do that sometimes in the morning when they're having breakfast and on the weekends as well. So that's that. I haven't read this book yet. I'll report back. But if you are looking to improve I think the way that you look at a problem, that's really why I'm reading this, is to look at problems differently so that I can better explain them to my daughter as well. All right, so that's that. So research this week. We'll get to the chocolate one in a second because that was an odd one. But anyway, we'll get to that one. And what I want to share with you right now is actually one on frozen being better than fresh produce. Strange, right? And we're talking about fruit, but we can also be talking about veggies. I wanted to share this with you because I thought it was a good tip. So this was actually just published in USA Today. So no specific person to attribute it to, but I thought it was well written. And so I just want to share it with you. So some of the foods and I'm just going to give you whether I agree or not. So they said blueberries was one of the best ones to choose frozen. And I completely agree. Here's why. I will get wild blueberries picked fresh in Maine by myself and my family. And we have a place in Maine. And so it's easy, obviously, for us because it's a fun family trip and it's right down the street and we could pick a bucket of them. Now, here's the interesting thing about wild blueberries. They don't grow mold like the ones that you see in your local store. They can sit there for weeks and they're not going to go bad. You can sit there for weeks and they don't grow mold. It's the strangest thing. You get the big ones in the supermarket, they grow mold, right? We all know that. So it's very interesting because of the properties that these wild blueberries have that I've gone in before in other shows and talked about it. But what we do is we freeze those as well. So we're not going to go through them all. We're not going to let them sit there for more than a couple weeks. So then we freeze them. But I also then buy the Wyman's wild blueberry that I've shared before. So I agree that I think it's better for blueberries. If you can't get them fresh, wild, then you can at least get wild blueberries, and they're most likely going to be from Maine or a place that has wild blueberries. So that's a nice, because they're going to be in season, right? Because you're going to get them. That's one of the biggest tips is that when you get frozen berries and fruit, they're picked ripe in season. That's the tip. So I love fresh fruit. We eat fresh fruit in my house and we have it every single week. But where are you getting blueberries in January, right? You're not getting them wild blueberries from Maine. They're all gone. They're not on the vines. Trust me. I've got blueberries right in my backyard. I've got raspberries in my backyard that I'm going to get to in a moment. I've got blackberries. There's nothing until July and August and September. So again, they don't exist. You could grow them in greenhouses, I guess. But again, they're not going to be of the same quality. Okay. So that's that. A tip that they gave was butternut squash, which is interesting because we certainly buy some butternut squash. I like acorn squash. I like butternut squash. But they said you can purchase it frozen. You could even thaw it out. And you'll find that it's not as difficult. Obviously, if you don't have to peel it and de-seed it, most people are going to use it more often. So I thought that was interesting because if you have a Vitamix, you could literally just toss in butternut squash and you could just heat it up in a Vitamix. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but you can make soup in a Vitamix. It's the most expensive blender you could possibly purchase. You can see the one that I use at stephencabral.com/resources. A lot of you know that I use a blend tech as well in my office, but I don't make soups or acai bowls out of that. I always use the Vitamix that's in our home. So that's that. Let me give you two more. Mangoes. This was a good one. We do purchase some fresh mangoes, but where are they really coming from? And the others, they go bad. If you know that you've mangoes, they go bad so quickly. They get mushy and brown, and it's much harder to peel them as well. So I wanted to share that with you. I do frozen mangoes. Actually, get a smoothie right here. It's almost gone. This is wild blueberry, mango, and a half a banana, all frozen. Actually. And the last one was raspberries. I think this is a great idea because raspberries, we definitely buy fresh. So we definitely buy fresh when they're in season, we can get them. But I'll tell you this, raspberries, they get moldy so fast. Blackberries and raspberries, you wash them, you clean them, all of a sudden, even if you dry them, there's mold within days. So at least up here, in New England and other places that we certainly get it. So just wanted to share that with you. All right. The last one I want to give you is, this was, again, I wouldn't bet my life on this study here, okay? We're going to put it out to you right there. It's a small study. It was done right here in Boston, Brigham and Women's Hospital, and it was published in the Federation of American Societies for Experimental Biology. And it was, this is the finding. Women ate either 100 grams of milk chocolate in the morning, in the evening, or abstained from chocolate for 2 weeks. There was no weight gain in either of the chocolate eating groups, and women who ate chocolate at breakfast had improved metabolism, increased fat burning, and lower blood sugar levels versus the evening. So it's kind of like if you're eating your chocolate, right? You probably want to do it in the first half of the day and maybe even at breakfast. So that's an interesting way to look at it because a lot of times, just like fasting that I talked about it, we're doing all these things before bed, which is the least ideal time to do them. So if you're going to have some chocolate, it should be ideally not milk chocolate, ideally some dark chocolate, maybe a chocolate superfood bar, or the best thing is just add some chocolate, some cacao powder to your maybe your oatmeal, maybe your smoothie, or even just use the chocolate daily nutritional support, which already has that cacao powder, chocolate powder right in there, and you can get the benefits from the antioxidants. It's not magical why this works. Chocolate has a lot of antioxidants and flavonols that are actually great for blood pressure, glucose, inflammation, etc. So don't overdo it. But I just wanted to share that with you, some fun research to end the week. All right, that's it for today. Have an amazing weekend. I'll be back tomorrow with more on our Cabral House Calls, answering our community's questions. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show, and a big announcement we have for you. That is January 10th. January 10th is our next community detox. That means people all over the world, thousands of people all over the world. Our goal is 10,000 this January 10th, completing the EcoLife Detox. That is a functional medicine detox that is going to help you with your overall wellness, get you deeper into autophagy, right? Such an important thing that many of us are hearing about and needing to take advantage of. It's going to help with overall healthy levels of blood sugar, healthy levels of inflammation, healthy levels of balancing hormones, and so much more. So whether you're looking to transform your overall health, your body transformation, weight loss, anti-aging is going to help you with that. If you only do one thing, I'm telling you right now, if you only do one thing to kickstart your 2022, it is the 7, 14, or 21-day detox. Choose the 21-day detox if you're dealing with wellness issues, weight gain issues, or aging-based issues, and if you've never done a functional medicine detox before, which is not a cleanse, it's not teas, it's not juices, it's not any of those things. I don't have a problem with those things, but they are not functional medicine detoxes, which is completely different. And if you've already been doing your functional medicine detoxes, well, then join us for a 7-day detox this January 10th. We will be posting every single day inside of our community support group at cabralsupportgroup.com. Completely free. We'll be cheering you along, providing support, answering your questions. Thousands of people complete this, and we hope you do too. But right now, you can actually get a 7-day detox completely free. It is buy 3, get 1 free. That saves you $99. That means you could join with 3 other friends, 4 other friends, and each save $25, or buy 3, get 1 free, and use them each quarter for 2022. Because if you're following the naturopathic and the Ayurvedic way of detoxing with each season for overall robust health and wellness and body transformation and aging, this is the way to do it. So you can stock up on your entire year's worth and actually get 1 free. So now you have one for January, the beginning of April, beginning of July, and mid-September. Save $99. Head on over to stevencabral.com/shop. That will take you over to the EcoLife site, or go directly to the detox page. Head on over to stevencabral.com/detox to save $99 while supplies last.